This is my girlfriend's $700 Honda Accord that she bought off of Facebook Marketplace. This is not only her first car, but her first project car. And this is episode 1 of making my girlfriend's beater better. This episode is gonna be focused mainly on maintenance. First thing on the list is new tires. She has a bunch of mismatched tires and I'd like to have them all uniform. We have a tire appointment in about 30 minutes, so let's go ahead and get these taken off and hauled to the tire shop. That's pretty cool and something I didn't know. I know like with some hubcaps, you know, it's quite literally just a plastic piece on top of the wheel. I don't think the bolts traditionally hold them down, but I guess Honda went the extra mile and said, no, this is part of the ensemble. Let's go to the next one. Super easy. And here are the new tires. They look amazing. Look at that tread. Such a difference. They look nice. They're very deep. I think these are just some all-season tires. These are, you know, beginners. We're not doing anything too crazy. Not yet. Now, when she gets experienced, then we'll, you know, throw on some better tires. But for right now, I think this will get the job done. Hello? Uh-oh. We might have our first issue. Well, we ran into our first problem. It appears that all these wheels are holding air in the tires, but we have one that isn't, which is kind of on par because there was one wheel that wasn't holding air in the last tire. I just kind of assumed that it was flat and there was a problem with the tire, but obviously it seems like there's an issue with the wheel. So hopefully we can find a quick resolution.
The next day.
All right, almost done. As you can see, we're missing one lug. I think it should be fine for right now. I'll eventually get one. I just forgot to pick up an extra one, but I'm gonna go ahead and torque everything down and go ahead and drop her. All right, wheels are on the Accord. I've already gone ahead and taken out the battery. The battery was dead, so I've gone ahead, purchased this yellow top Optima battery. Shouldn't have any problems with the battery for a long time from what I hear about these yellow top batteries. So gonna go ahead and get that installed and get this car pulled into the garage. See you in a bit. Next up on the list is a radiator flush. I'm not quite sure how long it's been since the radiator has had fluid put into it or that this thing has been flushed. So for my peace of mind, we're just gonna go ahead and flush it and put some new coolant in it. So the radiator is right here up front. Admittedly, I did watch a Chris Fix video on how to perform a flush. Just looking for the petcock up here on the radiator. I found it, so I think that's all I need. I've already unscrewed the radiator cap. I'm just gonna go ahead and get my drain pan up under here and get to it. Let it drain. Alrighty, so got my pan. The cap looks to be like a twist on, twist off with your fingers type of situation. We should strike some gold. There we go. Oh boy. I'm gonna go ahead and let that drain and we'll be back in a bit. While we're letting the radiator go ahead and drain, let's go ahead and knock out one of the easier things, which is putting some Royal Purple Max Restore in the gas tank. Now I've heard quite a few things. You know, I guess a lot of people have their own preference on what to put. I don't really have a preference, but it was highly recommended that I go ahead and give this Royal Purple Max Restore a try. Let's see how it does. Alrighty. Bottoms up. So hopefully this will go ahead and clean up the engine a little bit. Next time we start it up and take it for a drive, we'll maybe notice some sort of difference. So everything is drained. I'm tightening up the petcock again. Doesn't look too bad, doesn't look too dirty. Again, this was just more so a peace of mind type of thing. So let's go ahead and fill her up with distilled water and some Radiator flush and let it do its thing. This is my first time kind of doing this sort of thing, so let me know what you use, what is the better product if it isn't Blue Devils. Just gonna go ahead and pour it in. I imagine it would have been like some cool color, but I guess not. Now that that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and follow up with some distilled water. I know this isn't like a fluid funnel, so we're kind of working with, like, you know, basically a small hole, but this is the only funnel that I have that fits. Just gonna keep on filling it up here. What we're essentially gonna do is, once we have put in all of this water, we will let the engine run for, I think, about 20-ish minutes or so with the heat on blast. After that, we'll see what it looks like, basically. All right, so car's on, AC is on blast. You hear that? You hear that? That's that VTEC. I'm a Honda boy now. This might be my car. 3 flushes later, and I'm finally satisfied with how things are looking. The water looks as clean as it's going to get. All we have to do is just go ahead and pour in our antifreeze and let it cycle through. One down, one to go. So for some of you that are curious, here is the progression of me doing my multiple flushes. As you can see, this one is the original fluid. This is a mixture of all of these. Quite honestly, it's kind of like my overflow, but as you can see, we've gotten it down to a not dirty, I won't say clear, but not necessarily dirty jug of water. And here is a unused jug of distilled water as a base mark. You won't be able to hear any of this. This is all copyright. I don't think that guy really knew what he was talking about. Well, he was saying that the car wouldn't go over 30 miles an hour, or whenever it did, it would hesitate and kind of like die. We just went roughly like a little under 60, so I'm not quite sure what that's about, but that potentially is one less problem for me to worry about, which is great. Yeah, it feels pretty good. Might have gotten a $700 car for very cheap. I don't know. I mean, there's still issues. I did take a look under the car. We're still leaking oil. I think the oil pan seal needs to be replaced. It didn't look like a traditional type of seal because it's split in several places. So I think that needs to be addressed. And then obviously I can't remember the name of that gear, but the camshaft, that little gear that I bought, that needs to be replaced. But other than that, I mean, mechanically, it seems sound. She seems to be shifting just fine. So I'll see you back in the garage. There's 2 more items on the list. We have the air intake air filter and the spark plugs. Now the car seems to be running and idling fine, so spark plugs might not be needed, but it's just one of those peace of mind things. Might as well go ahead and get it out the way. Same for the air intake. Actually, I can't speak for the air intake. There's some weirdness going on. Given the state of the rest of the car, I'm sure that the air filter hasn't been changed in a long time, so I guess we're about to see. All right, let's get started. So we have our air intake air filter. It goes right here, obviously. I don't quite know how to take this off, so give me a couple minutes. Okay, this is concerning. This is concerning. I don't know what this is about. I'm breaking the car. You what? What is this? What is going on here? Okay, boom, boom. I broke it. I don't know what's going on. I didn't break it, but it's not clamping together. There we go. All right, unbroke, fixed. Yep, okay. There's a hole. There's a huge hole. Give me one moment. Let me go get some a knife or some scissors or something. Oh. Yep. So this looks like this whole hose has a hole in it. That would explain the tape, the weird tape job. Luckily, I don't think this is a very expensive part. Oh gosh. Oh my. Okay. So yeah, take a look at that. That's pretty gnarly. And it looks like it goes all the way through. That's actually pretty crazy. Yeah, okay, so that's what the tape was for, was to hold that together. Okay. Is there any other place where I need to remove this? There we go. Nice. Well, now we have a Bluetooth air intake hose. Oh, and quite honestly, this filter doesn't look too bad, but we're just gonna go ahead and replace it anyways. And here's how they look just for comparison. So putting them side by side, they look, you know, it's kind of a somewhat of a night and day difference, more of a morning and evening type of thing. But yeah, looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and toss her in there, just like so, and we'll just replace the top of our box, reattach those clips. There's one, there's two, and there's three. That takes care of that. So now we can go ahead and move on to our spark plugs. This is my first time really working on a 4-cylinder car. It's a gnarly looking screw right there. So now we can remove this cover here. And as we can see, under here are our spark plugs. Okay, there we go. Simple as that. So we have these here. We're gonna go ahead and place these off to the side. They don't look too dirty. All right, and let's get up in there. Here's one, cylinder one, I believe. Doesn't look too terrible. The spark plugs look a little burnt at the top, but we're gonna go ahead and replace them with some laser iridium spark plugs. So out with the old and in with the new. I think I'm gonna go ahead and hand tighten this first before I try to apply any sort of tool pressure. I'm just gonna fit it in there, and then once we get tight just like that, we're gonna go ahead and torque it down. There we go. All right, so let's just do that 3 more times. I'll see you in a bit. We're gonna go ahead and reinstall the boot plugs. Got some dielectric grease. Gonna put it all around the bottom tip and reinstall them. That's 1 installed, 3 more to go. Well, that just about wraps up this video. I know there are several things that we need to do on this Accord, one of which is the camshaft phaser, you know, that traditional knock or rattling when starting up. We need to go ahead and replace that. And now it seems like we need to go ahead and replace this air intake hose as well. Aside from that, again, this is my first journey with a Honda Accord, and this is my girlfriend's first journey with a car in general. That being said, what are some mods that we can do to this car? This is not only her first car, but her first project car. What are some things that we can do? What are some things that we should be aware of for these 8th gen Accords? Let us know down in the comments below. And also be sure to check out my girlfriend's page over on YouTube and all social medias. On YouTube as Jada's Ride, on Instagram and TikTok as Jada's Ride. Be sure to check her out and follow her along on her journey. She's covering way more on her page. I'm just doing like the mechanical bits. Be sure to leave a like, definitely comment, and you know, even consider subscribing. I'm gonna go ahead and try and put out some more content here. We'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, I'll see you guys later. Peace.